And this one is the last one. Where 2, 3 or more are gathered in His name, He has promised to be there to set their hearts aflame. And right now I sense the nearness of His presence in our midst. What a privilege to feel His presence, and oh, how sweet it is. So sweet is the Spirit when it moves among His people. Hearts are melted, lives are changed, and dreams restored. He brings healing for every heartache. He has a promise for every problem. Just so sweet is the Spirit of the Lord. These very walls cry out the glory of the Lord. Every woman, man, and child can feel God's love outpoured. It's so real, there's no denying that these blessings all are His. What a thrill to be at home with Jesus, and oh, how sweet it is. So sweet is the Spirit.
Hey guys, good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's get some volume right here. I'm wearing glasses. I'm going to take them off shortly because I've got my light reflection on them. But I am at that stage, Tandogazi, where I actually need to wear glasses. Otherwise, I struggle to read. Ladies, good morning. It's Wellness Wednesday. It is so good to see you here. And as usual, we are live. So when we are live, we greet, we tell us where it is that you're joining us from. My lioness is still in Cape Town. All right. Morning, my lioness. Let me not say our things. Good morning, Tando. Welcome from Hanover. Good morning, Noxie. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning, Ongs, joining us still at the UAE. Good morning, Pusaleto, joining us from Craddock. I wonder how cold it is out there. The weather has been challenging this past couple of days. It's been extremely, extremely cold in the Eastern Cape. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us, and thank you. We know this is now the protocol. The protocol is you greet and you tell us where it is that you are joining us from. So there's Tozama joining us from Nelspruit. Good morning, love. That's the first thing. You greet, you tell us where you are joining us from. And then, because we are only live on YouTube, you hit the like or the love button. I love the love, right? So when you hit the love button, I hear it. I see it from where I am sitting. So if you just click love or like this broadcast, I get to see that. What that does, it brings more people to this message. Therefore, more people get to be blessed. So you greeted. Thank you so much. If you can just now give me a little bit of love this morning, it would warm me up a little bit. Then the third thing, if you do not mind, you then copy the link and share it in the kind of obvious place becomes our status, your Facebook status, not your, well, whatever status is, but I normally just click and share on my, for example, on my WhatsApp status. But you decide if you are willing to share, help us spread the word, then you can do that. All right. So you've greeted us. Thank you so much. Good morning. Lizzie joining us from right here in PE. And now you can go ahead and like and love the broadcast. And of course, as we proceed, ladies, if something is being said here that resonates with you, feel free to type it in the chats, right? It also helps to keep the conversation going. I'm going to go straight to the word today. We are in Luke chapter 5. I have a feeling we are going to be here for quite some time. So if somebody doesn't mind, to please just write that down. Morning, no poppy. To just please write that down. We are in Luke chapter 5. I'm going to read it. I do not know where I'm going to stop. I'm just going to stop somewhere. The title of our message today is May the Sun, S-O-N, right? May the Sun of Righteousness rise in your life. May he rise in your situations. And so if you are here and you have situations, if you are here in need of the sun in your life, please indicate, because I know I need the sun. I love the sun, S-U-N, and it always reminds me of the sun, S-O-N. All right, so that's where we are today. May the sun rise in our lives. Allow me to read Luke chapter 5. One day, as Jesus was preaching on the shore of the Sea of Galilee, great crowds pressed in on him to listen to the word of God. And verse 2, I do not know if we'll get to talk about verse 2, but verse 2, he noticed 2 empty boats at the water's edge, for the fishermen had left them and they were washing their nets. Verse 2 is full. He noticed empty boats on the water's edge. They were belonging to the fishermen who had left them, abandoned them, and they were busy out there washing their nets. Verse 3, stepping into one of the boats, Jesus asked Simon, its owner, the owner of the abandoned boats, to push it out into the water. So he sat in that boat and taught the crowds from there. I'm going to read you the whole story. We are not going to cover all of it today, but I want to read all of it. When he had finished, this is Jesus. Now, when Jesus had finished speaking, he said to Simon, of course, this is Peter, right? He said to Simon, now go out where it is deeper and let down your nets to catch some fish. Verse 5, Master, replies my friend, we worked hard all of last night and did not catch a thing. But if you say so, other versions, of course, will say, nevertheless, at your word, I will let down the nets again. And this time, their nets were so full of fish, they began to turn. A shout for help brought their partners in the other boat, and soon both boats were filled with fish and on the verge of sinking. Now, other versions reveal that the partners were James and John. All right. So the 2 fishermen in this case was Peter and his brother Andrew. So this is also the call of the disciples. The 2 fishermen were Peter and Andrew, but of course the Bible speaks more about Peter, never really much about Andrew. And then the partners that were nearby in a nearby boat was the other 2 who would later also be disciples, James and his brother John. Verse 8, when Peter realized what had happened, he fell to his knees before Jesus and said, "Oh Lord, please leave me, for I am such a sinful man." Verse 9, for he was awestruck by the number of fish they had caught, as were the others with him. His partners, now we show the partners, James and John, the sons of Zebedee, were also amazed. Jesus replied to Simon. Jesus replied to Peter, "Don't be afraid. From now on, you will be fishing people." Verse 11 is the most, it's weird. It's like weird. Verse 11, which is where we'll stop. And as soon as they landed, in other words, as soon as they arrived on the shore, they left everything and followed Jesus. As soon as they arrived on the shore, they left everything and followed Jesus. Like I said, there's a strong possibility, but I'm not going to speak on behalf of the Holy Spirit. Sometimes it directs. There's a strong possibility that we're going to spend a bit more time in these texts for the next few devotions. All right, but I was caught. I was stuck on verse 1. Funny enough, I was stuck on verse 1. So somebody can just write down verse 1, right? On one day as Jesus was preaching. In other versions says early in the morning, and you should be able to make that connection, all right? So the whole story is from verse 1 to 11, chapter 5, but I want us to just sit on verse 1. It is not as clear, all right, in the book of Luke, but the book of Luke gives the detail, all right? Let me give it a little bit of context. The context is that this is the first real encounter of Jesus with the disciples. This is the beginning of Jesus and his walk with the disciples. He had been doing a bit of work. He had been preaching, he had been teaching, he had been performing miracles, but he had not yet put together his disciples. Can I just tell you something? Please don't forget this, and somebody please write this down. The very first disciple that Jesus, elected or located was Peter, Simon Peter. That is significant, ladies. Somebody please note that down. The very first, Jesus had 12 disciples, right? I may not be able to follow all 12 as to how they came about, right? But Jesus had 12. Of the 12, the first two that he encountered was Peter and his brother Andrew, right? But the very first one that he spoke to was Peter. Why am I mentioning that? I am mentioning that to say to you that, we know Peter. We know the mess ups of, and I'm obsessed with Peter. I'm honest. I'm obsessed with Peter because his life it's huge. He lived this big life. And by big, I don't mean everything about it was amazing. He had the biggest mess ups, but he had the biggest achievements. But anyway, but the very first disciple that Jesus spoke to, the very first one was the man Peter, who he was Simon at the time, and then they later called him Peter, and we'll talk about that. We'll get to that. So the encounter here is early in the morning. Now, Ellen White in the book Desire of Ages, chapter 25. Oh, go and read it. Oh, go and read it. Oh, go and read it. And we are called the theater of grace. And today I want to talk about grace locating you. I want to talk about grace locating you. I want to talk about the Son of Righteousness. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So let me draw the picture for you. So Jesus had been doing the work. Jesus had been teaching. I think more than anything, the miracles were coming. Yes, he did some things, but the main thing, just he had been teaching, and through his teachings, people were attracted. So Ellen White speaks about the fact that it was early in the morning, and Jesus was tired, and he was looking just for a quiet place to just take a deep breath. But this is Jesus, so he knows himself, all right? And here's the first thing, and this is what happens when grace locates you, that Jesus was never haphazard. Jesus is never, I'm not saying was, Jesus, ladies, is never haphazard. God is a strategist. Somebody write that down. God is a strategist. What that means, the good that happens in your life, when it happens, how it happens, with whom it happens, through whom it happens, may be a shock to you, may be a mystery to you, but it is part of God's strategy. Please write that down. God is a strategist, that nothing happens to his children by mistake. And I mentioned the good, my friend, even the bad, the horrible, the painful that he allows in your life is never a shock to him. God is a strategist. Somebody please write that down. So it looks like an ordinary haphazard what do they say, happenstance, right? This particular morning that Jesus is tired and is looking for a little bit of quiet time. All right, that is how they bring it across. But as part of his tiredness, as part of his plan to look for a quiet time, he decides where to go. And guess what? He goes where Peter and Andrew have just given up. Can you see how this is not happenstance? This is part of the strategy. And the strategy here, is not one-fold. And by the way, I don't even want to say because we can only see a double-edged sword. But as far as God is concerned, he has got a multi-edged sword. In most cases, when one event happens and that person feels like, oh my God, heaven is focusing on me, there are many other offshoots of the same event where other people are either being taught or benefiting, or grace is locating them. Oh my Lord, let me get to the story. So Jesus is tired. So that's one part of the story. He's a little bit tired and he's looking for quiet time to just maybe have devotion, to make that connection, that connecting line to his Father. He decides where to go. He could go up to the mountain. He could just stay where he is, wherever it is that he's staying, and just have his quiet time. But he wakes up. Sometimes Jesus spends the night praying. But as part of his plan, of the bigger plan today, he decides to do this early in the morning, just before the sun rises. He decides early in the morning, just before the sun rises, he is looking for a little bit of time. He's looking for a little bit of breather. He's looking for a little bit of time where he can connect, with the Father. And here's the strategy. Of all the places that he goes on the, now remember, and I'm sure you know this, those of us who live on the seashore. I live here. I don't live on the shore, but I live in PE, where we are a town with the sea nearby. The sea is long, right? There's a long shore, right? So of all the places on the seashore of the Sea of Galilee, of all the places, I am talking, in case you have forgotten, about grace locating you, of all the places on the Sea of Galilee that Jesus chooses on this particular morning to go and rest. Guess where he goes? He goes where you are. He goes where Peter and Andrew are sitting there. Now, you must know the condition of their hearts, but I'm going to go to them just now. So that's the first thing, right? And I am praying that we may not just say that God is a strategist, but that we might experience the strategy of God in our lives, that as part of his strategy, that grace may locate us. And the truth is, ladies, and I'd love you to testify in the chat here, the truth is that if you look back, yes, there are moments in the future where grace will continue to locate you. Hey, grace has located us just this morning. There are moments in the future where grace will locate you, will locate your loved ones. But I am sure many of us are here right now today because grace has located you. And sometimes you may look back at how God found you, and there are parts of that being found that you may not even be proud of, but you know that you have been found. You do not believe me. Mary Magdalene, do you know how grace located her? Do you know how grace located her? It was the most embarrassing moment of her life. And on that embarrassing moment, grace located her. It was her lowest point. She has never been that low ever. It was the lowest point in her life, and they thought they caught her. And they're embarrassed her, and that had happened. That is true. But in that same event, and I'm talking about God, the strategist, in the exact same event, she was found. In the exact same event, grace had located her. So how God allows these things to happen, my friend, it can only be part of his strategy. But we're going to talk about strategy at a later stage. So he wakes up in the morning. He wants a private time. He wants some quiet time. And he goes. And he goes on the seashore of the Sea of Galilee. And in that very place, in that very place, no Poppy, where Peter and Andrew were about to give up. These men were about to give up. But can I just touch the part that had happened here? Because I'm gonna close with Peter and Andrew. So Jesus goes, right? He has his moment, but this is Jesus. It was like a magnet for people. And people, it's almost as though people were waiting to see. They see where he goes to sleep, and it's almost as though they wait outside. Or somebody sits there and is going to tell everybody else that Jesus is awake. Because no longer had he arrived, no sooner had he arrived, at the seashore, that people started thronging him. All right? And people wanted to hear from him. People wanted to hear from Jesus. Now, and by the way, when Jesus woke up to go there, he also had those people in mind. He also had those people in mind. So when Jesus woke up that morning to go on the seashore, he had those people in mind. But he also had Peter and Andrew in mind. Why? Because he could have gone somewhere else, and the people were following him. They would have followed him wherever he went. He could have gone up on the mountain. The people were following him. He could have gone there. But he was about to begin the process of, oh my Lord, he was about to begin the process of the birth of Peter as we know him. Up till this point, his name is Simon. He was about to begin that. So I'm talking about Jesus now. We talk about a double-edged sword. He was tired. He needed rest. That's one part of the story. The second part of the story, he knew that there are people that needed to hear from him. And that's the second part of the story. That's the second cut. The third cut of the story, he knew that just as I'm going there, as the sun is about to rise, there are people who are on the seashore who are about to give up, who had been working and toiling all night and caught nothing. And I need to show up there for them as well. And so Jesus steps into the life of Peter, never to exit again. And here's the thing. It doesn't always look like it when Jesus comes into your life. And I want you to think that. I want you to think about the first day that you came across the message of a life-saving Jesus. It might be that you were born into, and I'm not talking about even your religion, like not by religion, your what is it? Not denomination. Yeah, your denomination. I'm not talking about Seventh-day Adventism for me and for you. I'm talking about the moment where you became conscious of a God who was operating in your life, when you became conscious of God, when you can go back and say, grace located me on that particular day. Now listen to me before time leaves me. So Jesus gets there. Now I want to tell you something. The time of the day was not haphazard. I told you, Jesus is a strategist. The time of the day, like I said, he goes to pray any other time, but the time of the day was not haphazard. Like it was early in the morning. The sun was about to rise. The sun, S-U-N, was about to rise. And can I tell you something? The sun, S-O-N, was also about to rise on the life of Peter and his disciples, never to set again. You missed me. It was early in the morning. Ilanga, lalizaphuma, S-U-N. But at the same time, basically the Son of Righteousness aligned himself this morning with the Son, S-U-N, his own creation, which is a sign always that he's present with us. Whenever I look at the Son, I am reminded that he is present with us. He is present with us. And so Jesus, the Son of Righteousness, S-O-N, with healing in his wings, with courage in his presence, I'm missing the right word, with divinity in his presence, he decides to rise on the life of Peter. And that is what is happening here. The people on the seashore will talk about how he spoke to them and healed them, but he's also about to rise on the life of Peter. And here's the story, my friend. And yes, let's now zoom in on Peter. He gets there. We're going to talk about what he then does. We're going to talk about what he then does, and we may not talk about it today, but he gets there, all right? He gets to the seashore ekuseni, when the sun is about to rise. And and let me tell you what, for the guys, for the people who were there to receive the message, that was good news, because Jesus was about to teach them. They are about to receive healing words. But for Peter and Andrew, his brother, and James and John, who were fishing just down the road, the rising of the sun, S-U-N, was bad news. What am I saying to you? Sometimes we find ourselves in situations where from every angle that you look at it, nothing good is going to come out of the situation, because you have been working it, you have been praying about it, you have been talking about it, you have been doing everything that is in your power to prevent it, and it has not changed. It has not changed, and now you have reached the end of your rope, and you do not see anything good. And I'm here to talk to somebody who says, I am at my wit's end, ma'am. I have reached the end of the rope in this situation. It has been dark, and I have been trying. Because remember, Peter and Andrew were fishing all night, right? And why do they fish in the night? Apparently, the best time to fish is nighttime. The best time to fish and catch fish, it's nighttime. The people that fish during the day, they are doing it for recreation. They go fishing for recreation. But the people that are fishing commercially, the people that are fishing to feed their families, they go at night, because nighttime is the best time to catch fish. But can I just tell you something? This night they caught nothing. How do I know? Peter tells us somewhere down the story, they caught nothing. We pray. This is now us. I'm here to people. We're going to pray about it just now in the Zoom. But I'm here, and if it's you, please indicate in the chat. I am here to talk to people who say, I have been praying all night, Lord. I don't even see a sign of an answer. I have been praying, I have been applying, I have been talking to this person all night, and nothing. I have caught absolutely nothing. I don't even see a sign. I am here in these 2 minutes that I've got left. Jesus has sent me here to say the sun will rise again. When I do not know. But when the sun rises, it does not signal the end of hope for you. It might look like the end of hope, because remember, for them to catch, for them to get answers to their prayers, it needs to be a particular condition. It needs to be at night. The only time that they'll catch fish, it's night. So and the other guys are happy because now Jesus is there, that he's going to teach them. For them, the end of the night, for them, the rising of the sun is a sign of loss of hope for them, because now they know they are definitely not going to catch fish. But what they do not know is that as where your rope ends, and someone please write this down, where your rope ends, where your power ends, where your hope ends, where you throw your hands and say, I give up, I have tried everything. We have fished this side and nothing came. I submitted a prayer request here and nothing came. I went to the man of God in that particular place. Nothing came. I went and upgraded my CV. I did an additional course. I still did not get a job. I went and marketed my business everywhere. I still did not get a job. I have applied here, there, and everywhere. I still did not get a job. I have even paid bribes. Nothing came, and you are now like Peter and Andrew and James and John. You have decided to abandon your boat. You have decided to wash your nets, and you are walking away. At that point, grace locates you. At that point where you have just decided, I am letting it go, grace locates you. On that day when they were like, okay, therefore there are no fish to be caught. But the arrival of the morning, the rising of the sun in the east, was also the rising of the sun, S-O-N, in their lives and in their situation. We know Peter, that moment was that moment where we were about to see, he was about to be born. What am I telling you, Mdana Sekaya? That moment in your life where you about to give away, like, I do not know anything else to do. That moment in your life where you feel like I have messed up big time. That moment in your life where it could even be about your loved one. You're like, I've given up on this marriage. I've given up on this job. I've given up on this business. I have given up on healing. I have given up. And the sun is about to rise and you are about to stop. That is also the beginning, Darasekaya, of the rising of the sun of righteousness in your life. And so, as I close, I pray for you. No, I do not pray for you. I want to assure you, I want to declare to you that the sun of righteousness, S-O-N, is going to rise in your health with healing in his wings. I am here to declare you before I close that the sun of righteousness, S-O-N, is about to rise in your marriage with healing in his wings. I am here before I close to declare to you that the sun of righteousness is about to rise in your business and is going to bring abundance. I am here before I close to declare to you that the sun of righteousness is about to rise in your workplace, which is toxic. Some people are facing charges of trumped up charges because the enemy is fighting us. I am here to declare to you that the sun of righteousness is about to rise in your financial situation. He's about to rise in your relationships at home with your siblings. I am here to say, the sun is about to rise. S-O-N, the sun is about to rise. And lastly, the sun is about to rise on the enemy, the devil, the guy that is making our lives difficult. The sun of righteousness is about to deal with him once and for all. So don't abandon your boat yet. Don't abandon your boat yet. Don't wash the nets, not yet. He is about to arrive. He has just arrived in your situation. When you think about yasa, kuphela mathemba, ewe uyasa, but ithemba lifikile. Ewe uyasa, but ithemba lingenile mntasekhaya in your situation. English has left me. Don't abandon your boat. Don't abandon your boat. Don't wash your nets. The sun of righteousness has just arrived. Hey, grace has just located you. Grace has just located you. Let me leave it here. But I have been sent to tell you one thing and one thing only. The sun of righteousness has arisen in your situation. The sun of righteousness has arisen in your situation. Don't abandon your boats, not yet. Don't abandon your boats, not yet. Don't abandon your boats, not yet. Don't wash off your nets, not yet. Because he has just arrived. Peter did not know, but Peter had just been found. He had just been found, and he did not even know it. Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Thank you. Amen.